Hello, my name is Yermiyahu Ahron Taub, and today I'll be reading a brief excerpt from May God Avenge Their Blood, a Holocaust Memoir Triptych by Rachmil Bryks. This is a book I've recently translated from the Yiddish. I'll be reading from the first book of the triptych, Diva zaynen geblibn, Those Who Didn't Survive, and this book is anchored around the figure of Reb Mendel Feldman, the author's maternal great-uncle. The excerpt begins around the end of the Sabbath in the home of Reb Mendel in Skarżysko-Kamienna, Poland. After Reb Mendel completed the blessing over the washing of the hands with great concentration, he made the blessing for bread on a large challah. Everyone responded with Amen. He cut into the challah with a Sabbath knife, broke off a small portion, dipped it into salt, ate it, and then cut the challah to go with the herring. And then the Sabbath hymns began. Each singer had a claim on a particular hymn and always sang it with the same melody. Everyone joined in the song. Reb Mendel called out a particular hymn to the designated singer. In other words, he was the one who dispensed the honors. By then, it was twilight, and as evening darkened into night, the joy in the singing deepened. I lay under the table near my father's feet and sang along with every song. My young, clear voice resounded over the mature, partially hoarse voices of the men. After all the Sabbath hymns had been sung, Reb Mendel sent Yussel into the courtyard, saying, Yussel, go and see if 3 stars are out. Yussel went out and then returned quickly, exclaiming, Yes, I counted 3 stars. Reb Mendel responded, Yussel, sing Shir Milas, Song of Ascensions, but to an upbeat tune. Yussel propped up his left cheek in the palm of his left hand and sang to the tune of Chaim Nachman Bialik's melody. Everyone joined in, and the silver cup with the water for the washing after meals was passed from person to person, and their fingertips were moistened in rhythm and to the beat of the melody. By the time the song ended, everyone had washed for grace after meals, and Reb Mendel had filled the great silver goblet with wine. Sitting on Reb Mendel's right, Reb Mordechai then lifted up the goblet and served it to him. Reb Mendel accepted the goblet with his right hand with 3 fingers under the base, and with his thumb and index fingers, he lifted the goblet and, eyes closed, sang out in a sweet, soulful voice, Friends, let's recite the grace after meals. And everyone responded, Let his name be blessed now and forever. And like undulating waves, the collective song of the grace after meals washed over the room. When the grace ended, the Sabbath guy turned on the electricity. At the time, Reb Mendel had his own electricity from a small generator powered by collected steam in his factory. And the light came on, and everyone shouted out, Have a good week, in unison. One man who held the claim commenced the weekday evening service in a weekday melody. A melancholy descended over the room. The Sabbath was gone. The evening service was rattled off quickly. To hear the Havdalah prayer marking the Sabbath's end, Bashala, Reb Mendel's wife, all of their daughters, and female guests, such as aunts, wives, girls, and maidservants, congregated in one of the doorways. Reb Mendel swept aside the tablecloth from one corner of the table, poured a small silver goblet with 96 proof spirits. Moisheva, Reb Mordechai's son, and Reb Mendel's grandson, held a lit Havdalah candle, braided with wax of 7 different colors. He climbed on a chair and held the candle as high as he could hold it, a good omen for marrying a tall bride. Uncle Mendel gazed upon the boy's adorable, charming little face, his wide, black, shining eyes, and long, curled earlocks, and smiled with pride. He recited the Havdalah prayer with his own original heartfelt melody. When he reached the blessing on the spices, he put aside the goblet, took the antique silver spice case, shook up the spices inside, opened the little door, made the blessing, inserted his nose, and inhaled. Reb Mordechai and several prominent attendees did the same. Reb Mendel put his hands together so that his nails reflected in the light of the flames and recited the blessing on the creator of the lights of fire. All the others did the same. Then he took the goblet back in his hand, continued the prayer, and in a loud voice called out, Hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol. He took a sip and poured the wine into a small plate. He took the Havdalah candle from Maishalah, ignited the wine, extinguished the light, sang Hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol, grabbed the fire on the small plate with his fingers, and stuffed his trouser pockets. Several others did the same, as this was a good omen, signifying pockets full of money. Reb Mendel folded his Sabbath prayer shawl as he sang V'yitem L'cha. Everyone exchanged greetings. Have a good week, a week of good tidings, a week of health and livelihood. Reb Mendel sang his Saturday night melody quietly, with feeling, while smoking a cigar. The guests trudged home, returning to the realm of the everyday, dragging the yoke of earning a livelihood with them, but with full trust in God. He who lived forever would not abandon his children, but would give them nourishment, just as he nourished all of his creatures.